Radiant
Force from the Medusa.
One rubbing off on me.
Choose your.
Yeah. I deny it. Objection.
Iggy.
Oh man.
What you got?
RNG, IG. I'm leaning more RNG.
Well, you're leaning forward right now, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little IG.
Well, yeah,
battle
there can definitely be
begins.
some problems. Like, IG needs to win this game early, right? Or not win it, but at least put enough pressure to make them feel uncomfortable. Make sure that the map isn't as big for RNG, which is pretty tough because there is going to be a Lycan. Maybe Tiny can slow his farm down a little bit in the early game, but once he gets his dominated, the tower is going to fall. He's going to rotate to the mid lane, the tower's going to fall. That's very cute wards.
Cute and distressed. Just constantly screaming. Somnus here against Emo, and what we did see in the first game was Somnus came out ahead. He was the winner of that lane, it felt like.
He was, by far. But then a couple of good comeback kills helped Emo get back into the game. Actually, he's killing a Shadow Strike level 1, very interesting. Also, timing with skill that Scream to secure the range creep, but putting out a little bit more pressure that way.
This game for Somnus also screaming Shard. That Shard just feels so good on Queen of Pain. You're able to blink in, get that silence. Especially when you blink right on top of the Weaver, he ends up silenced. He's not going to be able to Shikuchi away. You've got follow-up to it. Makes his game way hard.
For sure, I mean, Quap Shard is so strong anyway. It's additional damage, the wave clear, you said the silence. It's just such a strong utility shard. It's very hard to find a shard of that level. But in theory, I mean, IG does have the right tools to potentially deal with the Medusa. Like, they do have that Fiend script that's gonna drain the max mana of Medusa, like more than half of it even. So they do have ways of killing her, it just are the pieces gonna fall into place or not.
Yeah, because Ali has a tough time in terms of even just getting a full duration Fiend's grip off. There's gonna be a charge, there'll be wolves right on him. I assume the blink comes out for the Lions sooner rather than later. There's a lot of options here to make Ali's life miserable.
Yeah, like Spirit Breaker, Lycan Wolves, Quap, what more do you want?
It's not the best lineup to be looking at from the side of a Bane.
Actually just looks to be like a terrible support game in general. Not just for the Bane, but anyone really. And playing against all these heroes. Somnus doing alright again in his lane.
God King with the Gwen experience.
Yeah, I still don't know what his name
what
comes
that
from.
is.
Yeah.
But I will have to say,
Is that a musician?
I don't think so. I looked it up and like nothing came up.
Huh? Yeah, I don't know then.
It's not as high as the Golden experience.
Is it kind of just like a name like Salad? Or...
It's definitely a lot more intricate than Salad.
Yeah, but like something similar, like he just Googled something, oh, Gwen experience. That sounds fun.
It could be a combination of a couple things, maybe. I have no idea.
The Chinese names. Like, actually, even the Korean, like, StarCraft pros, they have very interesting names sometimes. I don't know how to come up with them.
X-Nova using charges, but now Adamana not really able to do anything. Well,
Isn't it magical?
Yeah, the bot lane isn't super easy. Like, POS 5 Spirit Breaker is pretty weak. Usually you would see there's a 3, 4, or 2. But, yeah, like, he needs level to come online. He's not really the best lane support, so the Mars should be very free. Going to fast Armlet, actually. To be able to scale a little bit better himself. And on paper, they have a lot of heroes to deal with the Lycan, right? They got a Tiny Splash. They got the God's Rebuke with the Armlet, which is building into a physical damage build. So Lycan shouldn't be like the biggest of problems. But when you combine it with the Quap and everything else, it might just be a little bit too much.
charge coming through on the Emo, but they've also got Frisk making the rotation, as well as the Bane of Ali. Somnus taking a lot of damage with that Swarm on him. X-Nova doesn't have a lot of mana either, and this is something we saw yesterday with the heavy damage output of an early Weaver, and right clicks coming through. Somnus forced to blink away. No joke. That Weaver damage.
Yeah. That's the reason why Weaver is so popular lately, right? Like, it just deals so much damage as a support. I don't know, like Weaver definitely, there's something wrong with the hero. Just a little bit. Can 100 to 0, a lot of heroes just with a vessel. Deals more damage than some core heroes even. Yeah, not fun to see it in every matchmaking game right now, I'll tell you that.
That Weaver, in my experience.
Yeah, my game experience. My game experience. Wanted to play a game, what the fuck? Except the right chicken meat.
Nobody likes the Weaver.
Except the Weaver.
Yeah, except the Weaver players.
Yeah. Like, not even Weaver's teammates like Weaver.
That was pretty smooth transition right there. Frisk blocking the creeps. I thought he'd take over the lane for a second to get some experience, but just blocking the creeps and giving enough time over to Emo to get back or something.
Yeah, he's farming a stack right now at the big camp.
It feels like a little bit of wasted experience then, right? Like, why not have Frisk just stay right nearby? But I guess he's working on the camp as well, maybe looking full.
Yeah, he's sort of doing that. How is Medusa's farm? Actually, same as Mars. I expect Medusa to be struggling a little bit more. Because it's really the hero that need to keep down for as long as they can. Because Medusa free farms here. Go to the triangle quickly. Gonna be rough for them.
Charge was coming out on the Frisk. They've got the invisibility bottled up by Somnus as the Nightmare was thrown onto Felix. The supports are mid. They're converged, and that means Mars is just kind of laning. He's not really playing aggressive on this Medusa without the proper secondary assault coming in.
Yeah, they can't bully the Mars out of the lane, but likewise, he also can't really bully the Medusa out of the lane. So, yeah, it's not a win for them, but at least, like, oh, Tiny's getting a little bit low. Good sleep, though. Might have actually died there if the Bane wasn't around.
Right.
Another very slow game. At the beginning, at least.
7.5 minutes, probably.
Yeah. When was the last game?
7:22. What's usually the reasoning behind that? Because there are some teams that play each other where just that first blood doesn't come for a long time. Like, is it just the lanes? Is it just the play styles that kind of clash a little bit?
They also don't have the best rotating heroes. Like, usually how kills happen is either like you misplay, right, and you get punished, or like a support rotates or a core rotates and you actually get that kill. But yeah, like they're very, very stagnant on the lanes, both teams. Like Emo doesn't like to rotate too early. Same with Somnus, they're very lane-focused players. And they don't have the best roaming supports, like Weaver and
Oh, Pain's okay.
That's our first one.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be first blood about 7.5 minutes in. I say that though, Ollie getting under the tower, still chased, and eventually Chalice will claim his life. Nobody rotating top to potentially stop that, but there's really not much they could do with the rotation anyway.
Yeah, like him with ult on, especially level 6-7 with the fresh Dominator is so hard to stop. You almost always get a kill with that. That's multiple. But yeah, they gotta make sure that the Lycan doesn't snowball too hard, because if he does, he gets all those towers too quickly and Medusa is just free to farm everywhere.
Arena down, God's Rebuke, and they're gonna bring Emo in. God King in some trouble. They've got the charge, but the slight to dodge it and the searing chains. Frisk comes into, Somnus is here. Eventually God King's run down, and it looks like XO is gonna be the second one to fall. Both to Emo. He's got a double kill. He's working with a little bit of mana. Let's see what he's looking for on top of these two kills, but Somnus and Felix don't really pack a punch by themselves in that rotation.
Yeah, also doesn't have the most mana on the Queen, so very nice rotation. Like, they forced a couple of TPs, got 2 kills, and lost nothing for it, while Tiny is still farming the top lane. But as you can see, Lycan is a very, very free game. At this rate, he might just have like a minute 13, 14 health of the Overlord, and if that happens, Roche opens up, all the outer towers open up. Like, he's getting way too much money right now. They're gonna stop him.
Who's really there to take out Helm of the Overlord 3?
Yeah, they need items to do it. Like, they can do it, but like, even then, Tiny isn't... Okay, charge on 2.
It hits Emo, and I don't know if he was really looking like he was going to get hit by that. I know the last time he slighted in Searing Chains, but he held on to it, and I believe it was even on cooldown, so it wasn't able to avoid that charge.
Never refuse good.
Like, Tiny really needs some items, right, to be able to kill him with the Overlord. Like, this is the problem, the Lycan problem. They even first 2'd it, and they're not able to defend the tower, unfortunately. It's a big problem. At least they're trading it,
but they're going to try and take a tower of their own.
X-Nova is actually trying to pull the creeps away.
First spike in, and there's the Sonic Wave. They'll get the kill. Somnus credit for that one.
That death is rough. Just as the tower dies, like usually I'd say he has no business there. Like he should be part of the bottom tower because like that's the area the carry wants to take, right?
Right.
So getting caught out of position there is pretty bad for his own economy. And X-Nova is getting punished for dragging away the creep wave, save the tower. It was never gonna work. Just try to get some delay work.
Emo's kind of having himself a bit of a start here. You know, he's not top of the net worth at the moment, but his presence is being felt. He's 3-0-0. He's moved around the map pretty well right now. He needs to, at least it feels like he needs to keep that pressure on to help fly his game out.
He definitely will, because the Medusa's already in the triangle now. Like they held her down a little bit. She's the lowest snapper for now, but if I check for 5 minutes, oh gosh, oh, he's gonna get another wolf for him. And that might be the mid-tower too. They do have arena, they need to defend this. I don't think there's a way around it.
Yeah, JT coming over with Emo and Chalice. Well, that shapeshift's not gonna last forever. Eventually he does back off. And the charge will be away from the battle over towards bottom. So they do defend the tier 1 mid, at least for now. IG though, still not the greatest of spots, and it doesn't feel like they're truly breaking through that outer defenses of RNG. And those are gonna go up pretty quickly to defend God King.
Yeah, as long as you defend that triangle, give you Medusa the space, that's all they need to do.
Friscon Felix, and you know, he looked for that Earth Spike to try and maybe get and catch Emo using that Remnant in, but nobody makes the commitment to get this kill onto the line.
In case you didn't know, the Beatles actually don't disable Tranquil Boots, despite it being a physical attack. Interesting.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Flyby looking to stack his own camp here, but Somnus is catching wind of this, and Flyby needs a hero. Because by himself, I don't know if he exactly feels all too comfortable, and Somnus will TP out, so no help coming the way of Flyflies, but at least he doesn't get his stack stolen. Big thing here, though, is RNG are really starting to pull away strictly, for the most part, farming.
Yeah, that's the problem now. Like the heroes are very, very strong at farming, and if you just look at the Lycan network, it is way too high. Like once that Overlord comes out, I really don't know how to deal with him at all. Like Roshan is free, all the towers are free. What do we do? He's so close to it, like 1,000 gold away.
They're not checking him at all.
Yeah, he's just free. Completely free. Left to his own devices.
And that is something that
it's scary.
IG needs to be up on.
Yeah, but not only that, like all of their cores are below the enemy's cores. Like it's always a bad sign. That's the case, obviously. And we already alluded to the fact that they don't have the greatest Medusa killers. Once she has 1 or 2 items, like a Skadi Manta, how do you kill her?
You don't really need to go defensive at all against Medusa. Her Spike Finger, all this damage coming into the Flyfly. Now they've got the Hex, the Sonic Wave. Man, I mean, so much damage, so much time needed to get the kill there on the Flyfly. They've got themselves the Fiend Scrim, Spear lands, and eventually it's traded for both Felix and X-Nova. So that is 2, but the really important part of IG's draft is getting Flyfly to a part in this game where he can participate, and that is slowed down.
Yeah, another wolf activated. Got a centaur. Who's he going for?
Looking for Emo, gets the stun, the right click damage, and forced to Remnant away. Gets the Searing Chains out onto this Lycan, but they're still gonna lose that tier 1 over mid, and well, you know, they don't get the kill onto Emo, but they got what they came for, and that's the tower.
Yeah, which gives additional space to the Medusa, who's also left unchecked. Lycan, very close to his Overlord. And even Quap is also very pumping. Everything's just going the way of RNG. They faced off recently, right? And RNG ended up winning 2-1,
I think so, yeah.
Or was it 2-0? I think it was 2-1.
I want to say it was 2-1, but either way, like, RNG certainly have the leg up, or at least it felt like they had the leg up. They did lose game number 1, however, right now game number 2,
Radiant's bottom tower
they're in
is
a
under
part
attack.
of the game where it feels like they have control at the moment. Ooh, Hex comes through, they've got the Earth Spike soaring forward. The charge is out, but there's the God's Rebuke. God King trying to make something happen. X-Nova, he is falling to the swarm of Frisk. They get the kill on Ollie, they'll take it the bait. JT not a lot of to work with here, but he'll drop the arena down around 4.
Big avalanche
on the board as well. Earth Spike hits 2. They've got the Orchid out of the tiny Fly looking like he's gonna die, and they'll take him out. God King gets the kill there. They've got the Nightmare on a Felix, but nothing to follow it up. Chalice is right behind him, and it looked almost so good for IG, but eventually RNG are the ones who come out ahead.
Yeah, I don't think it can get much better than that. Like, there was a perfect setup for the Tiny. Form an Avalanche, he cleaves all the heroes. I gotta admit, I'm really not sure why Emo went for that Orchid. Sure, you're playing against the Quap, but like Maelstrom is a damage item. Now you have an Orchid, and you're playing against heroes that it does nothing against. Dusa is gonna go for Manta, it does nothing to Lycan. Like, you need your Maelstrom. You're playing against so many summons.
Was the Orchid to maybe just punish the supports? Or hope to?
But the thing is, doesn't he get punished more because Quap already has her Orchid and he has 0 defensive items, and your Maelstrom is also your farming item, right? Like, Orchid doesn't help you farm. I think there was a massive miscalculation. If you even can, because you tried 2 times and both times it didn't work, because Orchid is really good with burst damage. Where's Ember's burst damage?
We talked about how well Chalice was farming. Well, now God King's ahead of even Chalice.
Yeah, that's Medusa in a triangle. You run check for a couple of minutes. Arms all those camps, no problem.
And you can see it's only 6-6, 16 minutes into the game, so both teams for the most part are really going unchecked, but the benefactors of it are RNG really, as their farm efficiency is much higher, and they're gonna get away with a lot more around the map.
Dire's top tower is under
No, they're going
attack.
for the top tower. At this point, they can really just take the whole map with that helm of the Overlord that you said.
Are fortified.
The Golem Aura is going to be massive, plus 15% health. And it can also split push another lane, so they will always have 2 lanes pushed in. It creates way too much pressure right now to handle.
Radiant's bottom tower is
It's
under
3K,
attack.
but
It feels a lot more than that.
yeah, percentage-wise, it feels way worse.
Yeah, for sure. And the Tiny, once again, is not really threatening split push, so the Raiden is not afraid of at all. They just 5-man the top tower, because there's no threat of being split pushed.
Radiant's
Here
middle
comes the
tower is
golem to
under
get your
attack.
tower.
Dire's top
Get
tower
you
is
gone.
falling.
Oh, they're setting up for mid tower defense as well.
Spear? It landed. I don't know if that, you know,
Right
really
place.
was anything that they could jump on. Again, the Orchid, the damage though. Okay, JT gets the kill on X-Nova. They've got the Shadow Blade on Fly, so you know there is some progress from IG. I know we're harping on the fact that RNG are getting a lot around the map, and they are up 3K, and it does feel like it's a bit of a problem here for IG, but it doesn't mean they're out of it by any means. And as I say that, Chalice gets the kill there on Frisk, so it does jump up to 4K, but there are options for IG, right?
There are, it's just very hard to execute. Like, the Bane should never be able to get a grip off. And they do have options, it's just like so much easier for RNG, right? To set up. Now they get the free Roshan that we said they were gonna get. And the damage output on the Dire stage is really lacking. Like, this Orchid pickup, I'm really starting to feel like it was just a big waste of money, because he could be halfway through his BKB already with the Maelstrom, and it would be so much more effective. Like, the Orchid has done 0 so far, 0 kills with it.
Just not turning into anything of substance.
Yeah, and now the Quap has an Aegis. Oh, the big bad wolf is coming.
And they're coming for Emo. Fly right there. The wolves show themselves. So does the
That's
golem. Oh my god. Emo, you're not an ancient taker. an ancient creep taker, that's for sure.
Look what tanky it is. None of them are,
Dire's
apparently.
top tower is under
The
attack.
tiny hit did nothing to it. But it got plus 12 armor.
That's so unfair.
Yeah, or at least they had to waste shapeshift. So now the supports are maybe free. Like, we haven't seen a grip yet either, right? Like, it's just so hard to grip anyone. There's Orchid, there's Lion, there's Lycan, there's Spirit Breaker.
Dire's middle tower is
Hoping,
under
praying.
attack.
That's all you can do. Oh, Lycan's already halfway to his
Dire's
AC.
middle tower
They are
has
starting
fallen.
to surpass his net worth though.
Slowly but surely, yeah.
The one that is really struggling is Emo.
Yeah, who is a very big
Radiant's bottom tower is
piece
under
to the
attack.
puzzle here for
Dire's middle tower is under
IG.
attack.
What is he going for next?
Shadow Fury? Was that what that just was?
I don't know. Well, they didn't last at all.
Yeah, looking for the ult. So he stops that. They still get the kill on X Nova, but that cost him Arena and Fiend's Grip. So now JT forced to run. He'll TP out instead, and that won't get off. They've got the Euls, they have the Orchid, and the damage is very much there for them. As JT falls to Somnus, he's dead for 45 seconds now, a 5k lead. Slowly but surely, this lead has expanded for RNG.
Yeah, it's just much easier for them to control the map now. They have a bigger portion of the map. You're gonna see every passing minute their advantage increases, gets bigger. Eventually might be much nice pickup potentially. He's not dead. Oh, he's
There's
dead.
the sight, there's the kill. They've got the Orchid, and again, it doesn't do anything.
There's nothing. I mean, I like to be the guy that innovates, you know, but some builds are the standard for a reason.
Yeah.
Okay. The Lycan Wolf
Radiant's
already
middle
off
tower
cooldown
is
again.
under attack.
And the Lycan.
Avalanche, and the Spirit Vessel on him. Avalanche toss. Chalice's shapeshift's not gonna last much longer, but they've got the charge coming in on the Fly. And Chalice has to back away as he is sitting really low. The Nether Strike comes out
Wave.
from X Nova, and Fly is just run down. Nobody went to help him, and he got run down for a while. Chalice was down to a little bit of health, and they had no confidence going in to save him.
How do you fight into Stone Gaze and Sonic Wave though at this point? With that lackluster farm you have on your cores right now? Like Flyfire can deal a lot of damage, but other than that, who's gonna follow up?
Dire's structures
They got two
are
supports that
fortified.
don't really offer a whole lot of damage. Like a Weaver that's not snowballing is not nearly as scary. Like we've seen yesterday, when Xingqiu plays Weaver, he was like at
Dire's bottom
7.5k
tower
net
is
worth at this
under
point.
attack.
A real menace.
He was a menace, but eventually that did disappear.
bottom tower
Charge
has
coming
fallen.
out, and we'll see. Slide through JT. Arena, Spear, great Euls. So there's the charge in onto Emo, and now they have no Arena, no Spear. Not gonna lock them down. The blink forward with the Earth Spike. Well,
Dire's bottom
he's got the
tower
bulwark. He'll be nightmared, but that's just gonna make it much more difficult for JT. He tries to survive and get the kill on the Felix, but he doesn't have the damage, and they're gonna just move forward on this. RNG, we said it from the draft, we said it from the breaking point. There is no way that IG at the moment, or really throughout this entire game, have had a way of stopping them, and you know, they're bending to RNG's will at every turn.
Yeah, what's the most surprising to me is that this was a first phase Lycan, but he's having such a good game.
A free game.
Yeah, like he had like 3 picks to really prepare for it. And yeah, like it's a little bit unfortunate that the game is going this way. But like I don't know when the damage issues are going to disappear, because like he gets more auras for his team. The entire team will have like +8 armor. The lifesteal aura, they're very survivable. Medusa, we don't even need to talk about her. Like there's no way you can chew through that health pool at this moment. And the problem is gonna get worse. Right?
Yeah, for sure.
Like they were supposed to be the ones ahead right now if they wanted to win this game. But they're behind so far.
I don't even know what their plan is to come back from down so much. Like,
They need to somehow find the backline. Like the Tiny needs to Shadow Blade in, hope they don't have a sentry, kill the supports, and slowly tickle away at the Dusa. They need to isolate her, they need to grip her.
he did finally go Maelstrom. He was building
Dire
Battle Fury
has
for a
fallen.
little bit, or thinking about it at least.
Well, that's a step in the right direction, but hello, Mr. Golem.
It's such a capitalist society.
Say that, you also have families too.
The Dire Society.
Fair enough.
Radiant welcome him with open arms.
Yeah, Quap almost on the BKB now. Just need to go under for that. They need a full duration grip on someone, or like a really nice spear initiation on the Quap.
Dire's
Perfect.
top tower is under attack.
Which they almost had.
Almost. But then his view.
Almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades.
He also had an Aegis at the time. It wasn't so risky.
Radiant are scanning.
But then now that the BKB is complete, he's a lot more tanky. I wonder what steps they need to take here on IG. Because they seem to be happy just farming away. Whereas RNG is also just happy farming away, because I do wholeheartedly believe that the late game is quite a bit stronger.
Yeah, it definitely feels like that's the case. Certainly.
But you know, like if we are lost and we have Omni Vision, maybe IG feeling the same way. Like, what do we do right now?
Yeah, what are our answers? How do we get through this? What are the pieces we have to put together here? And like you said, it kind of starts with a pickoff. Do they have the ability to even get a pickoff? You need a full duration Fiend's Grip, but how are you going to get that with everything you're up against? You said it before, this is not a fun game for any support that would have been in this game, let alone a Bane.
Yeah, and now they smoke up. Charge in the bot lane.
Good sight in Searing Chains. That'll stop the charge.
Yeah, also. Oh, it's triple remnant. Oh, okay. Well, he's out, but he's also out of remnants.
Back later when I have remnants.
And about 2 minutes time, please. Thank you. Okay, we'll drop the delivery at the door.
Oh, the delivery never gets left at the door. It's always just quickly into, sorry we missed you. And they leave it on my door.
Did they ever give it like to your neighbors? Like that happened a lot in Germany to me. Like the neighbors get my package, I go over and like, did you receive the package from me? Like, yeah, we did. Yeah.
No, we didn't. Why are you wearing the shirt I ordered? I love this band as well.
Yeah, it's actually my shirt.
James Shim, JT, he sets up the arena, has the spear that lands out on the Chalice. Sleight of fist, Searing Chains, man to use. They've got the Orchid, now they've got the Fiend's Grip. Nobody going under the Ollie just yet. The damage zone coming through from the Wolves, as well as the illusions of the Medusa. They use that Sonic Wave, they get the kill to 5-5. They'll take him out for 60 seconds. Here is the Stone Gaze. God King looking Mars right in the eyes. Come at me. But he'll be turned to stone and eventually killed off. That's 3 kills there for RNG, and probably the best fight IG have had. It started with the Fiend's Grip that was full duration.
Yeah.
They had the arena and nothing happened.
Yeah, but that's because they're like so far behind. This needed to happen a good 10-15 minutes ago.
Dire's middle
Like the
tower
amount of
is under
space they've
attack.
given RNG,
Radiant's bottom
they just don't
tower
have the
is under
damage now.
attack.
And I don't know when they will have sufficient damage, because RNG is not getting weaker.
No. I don't even know what the
Dire's
timing is when they do
structures
start
are
getting weaker.
fortified.
Well,
75 minutes?
maybe, yeah. When they all 6 started for 30 minutes and can't end the game, maybe.
Yeah, and
But
IG are catching up.
yeah, it's tough. It is really tough. Like they drafted themselves into a corner where you only had this like one way out of it, and if you miss that timing, the game is kind of gone. Might just be there. They were just waiting for the next Roshan, which just spawned.
Dire are scanning.
And the scan comes out from the Dire, so they know exactly where it is, but this feels like a last ditch. We either get this or
Might be the last fight, yeah.
tap out.
To be fair, they don't have ults right now on the
Radiant
Radiant, so... Okay.
Swarm comes in, and the Ancient Dragon, they've got the spear landing again, as well as the arena that's keeping God King away. The silence through.
Okay.
Ditch, we either get this or
Might be the last fight, yeah.
tap out.
To be fair, they don't have ults right now on the Radiant, so... Okay.
Swarm comes in, and the Ancient Dragon, they've got the spear landing again, as well as the arena that's keeping God King away. The silence through onto the Ember. Slight, no chain, so Felix able to just walk it out. Charge coming through all the way out of 5-5 with the BKB pop by JT. X Nova, he's into the mix. They've got the Stone Gaze being used once again. The damage out on Frisk takes him out, and so does Fly. Yeah, they'll call GG. This is pretty much how they wrote it up, and it was their last chance for IG to make something happen. There was nothing for them to make happen, and eventually RNG win the fight, win the game. They even it up at 1.
Yeah, well dropped.